Welcome to Time is Not on Your Side with your host, board-certified business litigation attorney, Robert Eckard. In every episode, you'll hear insights from Rob and those he trusts to impact the success of your litigation. You can find this show on all the major platforms, including YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on our website, roberteckardlaw.com. Now, here's the host of Time is Not on Your Side, Rob Eckard.
Today's topic, when to hire a business law attorney. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Time is Not on Your Side, a podcast dedicated to bringing you topics and a perspective you won't find anywhere else. I'm Robert Eckard, a board-certified business litigation attorney and government investigation specialist with an LLM in international law and business. When should I hire a business lawyer? Entrepreneurs and business owners and managers carry a heavy burden, often years without a break. Running a business often involves navigating complex legal and business structures and can impact every aspect of your life. You need to know when should you consult or retain a business lawyer. From entity formation to contract negotiation and intellectual property protection to compliance with labor laws, a skilled attorney can help you avoid costly mistakes. This podcast will briefly explore key situations to help safeguard your business moving forward. So here we go. 12 situations I think you should call your business lawyer. First, entity selection, formation, structuring, and restructuring the business. So when deciding to form a new business entity or change a legal structure of your business, such as an LLC, a corporation, or partnership, you need to consider the best entity type based upon liability, tax issues, management, or bringing equity partners in. And this is especially true if you're going to establish a joint venture relationship with another business or offer equity-based compensation to a key employee. 2, drafting or reviewing contracts. Anytime you need to draft, review, or negotiate contracts with clients, suppliers, or any other vendors, you need to make sure you're protected. You may need non-disclosure agreements, non-solicitation agreements, non-circumvention agreements, and maybe even a non-compete agreement. And be prepared to use those with all key suppliers and other vendors. Intellectual property protection. Number 3, you need to understand that sometimes you'll need to protect patents, trademarks, copyrights, and trade secrets. You may need agreements for non-circumvention and non-disclosure. 4, employment law compliance for issues related to hiring, terminating, and managing and compensating employees. This can include employment agreements, severance agreements, compensation plans, equity-derived compensation agreements, employee handbooks, and compliance with all state and federal laws. 5, outside or investments or raising capital. Sometimes you'll need to understand how to use private placement memorandums, blue sky laws, and making sure you're compliant with those statutory frameworks. And whether you need a private placement memorandum drafted or reviewed is something you may need a business lawyer for. Number 6, regulatory compliance. To stay compliant with specific industry standards, it may involve environmental issues, licenses, and other governmental entities. You may need to understand how you use real estate, especially if it's in your name, and any operational procedures. Number 7, mergers and acquisitions. If you're considered buying or selling a business, a joint venture, negotiating, drafting transactions to protect your business, you may need a business lawyer for those things. Number 8, dispute resolution and litigation. For when disputes arise with customers, employees, partners, or competitors. I found that people that have anticipated problems can draft usually around those problems with a skilled attorney in those documents, at least to understand the protocol if there is a dispute contained in those documents. Number 9, real estate transactions. For leasing or purchasing commercial real estate property, either in your name or personally. You need to understand boundaries, restrictions, easements, licenses to align your businesses to protect your rights that are tax efficient. You also need to understand loan documents that the bank may impose upon you and any conditions. Number 10, corporate governance. You want to ensure proper government practices, maintaining corporate books and records and legal financial documents, the bylaws, operating agreements, shareholder agreements, and the state's statutory framework that governs that entity. These formal requirements are generally simple, but should not be overlooked to help avoid personal liability and create a comprehensive framework for running your business. 11, strategies for succession planning. You need to plan for the eventual sale and transfer and closure of the business. This can include complex legal transactions and the tax consequences. And number 12, risk management. You need to proactively identify and mitigate potential legal risks in your business operations. These include potential liability issues, obtaining adequate insurance, reviewing all the regulatory changes that may be occurring, including those impacted by your employees. I'll conclude by saying this. By proactively engaging a business litigation lawyer, you can help minimize disruptions without facing those legal challenges and expenses of litigation. So whether you're structuring your company or protecting intellectual property or preparing a merger, expert legal advice is invaluable. By understanding when to seek legal counsel, you can navigate all these complexities with more confidence and secure your business's future growth and path for success. And focus on making money and running the business without problems. Make your business lawyer an integral part of your strategic planning. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to contact me or another qualified business law attorney, preferably one that's board certified in the state that they are practicing in. This concludes another episode of Time Is Not On Your Side. Be sure to hit the like button on all social media platforms and text me if you have any comments.
You've been tuning into Time Is Not On Your Side with your host, board-certified business litigation attorney, Robert Eckard. You can find this show on all the major platforms, including YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on our website, roberteckardlaw.com. Thank you for your positive reviews, comments, questions, and for sharing this show with others. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of Robert Eckard and Associates, its attorneys, or guests. Any videos or other content presented on Robert Eckard and Associates website or other social media platforms is for educational purposes only. All content presented is for educational purposes only and shall not be construed as providing legal advice or an endorsement of any third party or such third party's views, nor any private company or government agency that a speaker may be employed or affiliated with, or as a solicitation or offer to sell securities or provide investment, tax, legal, or consulting services, and shall not be relied on nor acted upon without obtaining specific advice from a qualified professional. We believe the information presented to be reliable, but is not guaranteed as to its accuracy or completeness. All examples are hypothetical and for illustrative purposes only. Any opinions or statements by Robert Eckard and Associates, PA employees, guests, or other third parties are their own and may not be representative of the experience of others or indicative of future performance or success. No compensation has been exchanged for any testimonials, endorsements, and/or recognitions. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. No attorney-client relationship is established with the law office of Robert Eckard and Associates, PA, Law, until such time as a duly executed retainer is signed by you and an authorized agent of law, and any retainer deposit paid and returned to us.